What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of See It Through My Eyes. I'm your host, Richie, here with the black man in black.
Sup?
The cameraman in the camera.
Hi.
Alright. Well, today we're going to be reacting to a video. It's called Cheating is the Plot. And in parentheses, is that parentheses? We're going to say those are parentheses. And we're supposed to clap, question mark, by the channel Marina McBain. We've reacted to a video a while back, or check out the channel. We might react to the entirety, we might not. If not, even so, make sure to check out the video. Make sure to show her love, and if you haven't already, make sure to show us love by subscribing, sharing, liking, commenting, and doing all that good stuff. So with that being said, let's get right into it.
I genuinely think that Hollywood wants me to cheat on my future husband. And I'm not being dramatic. Because according to nearly every romance movie ever, if my toxic ex-boyfriend shows up in the rain looking mildly regretful, apparently I'm supposed to throw my entire life away and run into his arms. And I grew up thinking that was peak romance, okay? 16-year-old me watched those scenes and thought, yes, that is what true love looks like. Messy, desperate, and completely willing to destroy anyone who gets in the way. If someone leaves their fiance at the altar just because their real love walked back into town, that is not betrayal, that is epic. And I didn't even clock how insane that is until I watched the new Wuthering Heights movie. As someone who had never read the book, I went into the film completely blind. All I knew is that it was supposed to be one of the greatest love stories of all time because that's how it was marketed. And about halfway through watching, I was sitting there thinking, wait, am I supposed to find this romantic? Because here's what's actually happening. Catherine grows up alongside a boy named Heathcliff, and their connection is so intense to the point of being slightly unhinged. Every time they look at each other, you genuinely can't tell if they're about to kiss or start fighting. But then despite this connection, Kathy marries a man named Edgar. He's rich, he's kind, he's patient, he gives her everything she wants and more. Just the whole package. Compare that to Heathcliff, who is mean, dramatic, and incredibly immature. So at this point of the movie, I'm Team Edgar. It is literally a no-brainer. Let the girl have a happy, stable life. But then all of a sudden, Heathcliff shows up again and spoils all the fun. He's somehow even more unpleasant than he was before, and Kathy immediately falls for his toxic behavior. She likes him so much that she cheats on Edgar with Heathcliff in his own home multiple times. And imagine my shock when I realized that it's their relationship we're supposed to be rooting for. The movie frames their reconnection like it's the universe finally correcting itself. Edgar's feelings? Irrelevant. We're not supposed to care. After the movie was over, I genuinely felt like my frontal lobe had fully developed. Because now all I could think about was how almost every single iconic love story involves some type of cheating. And that's not an exaggeration. The Notebook, cheating. The Office, cheating. Titanic, cheating. Cheating, 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 cheating. So today, I want to do something very simple and very petty. I want to expose the classic ways that movies romanticize cheating. The tropes, the tricks, the framing, and why it's getting worse. Because it is getting so much worse. So buckle up, because at the end of this video, we will finally get the answer of why Hollywood is so obsessed with cheating.
Alright, so before she gets into the actual example, so far, initial reactions?
She has a point, honestly. I saw.
Is it because she touched on the Notebook?
It's more than just a Notebook. It's a lot of women. It's a lot of women-focused media too. Like it involves like a lot of cheating, and it's like it's kind of weird, honestly.
For all any ladies watching this and who may, I don't know, disagree with Marino or any of our takes, please make sure to share in the comment section. Is this like a female thing or some female thing, like a fantasy of? Is it kind of like the forbidden door? Like why does it seem like Hollywood be targeting women's, I don't know, weird cheating, forbidden fruit fantasies?
Well, see, that I was going to get into that as well, where it's just a lot of media today is around that whole being in a committed relationship where you do get what you want and a partner that you want. It's boring. It's lame. It's not that, but you know, the story about someone cheating and all that, that's exciting. That's what draws people in. That's what brings the views in. And so a lot of media is starting to like, it's scary. They are kind of trying to promote the idea of cheating and then doubling back to a relationship that's built off of cheating as if that's a true relationship.
But we've seen this, I mean, when we were watching the video right now, me and you both called it out, the Mary Jane leaving my son, the astronaut, at the altar, and the second Spider-Man
too.
That was early 2000. This was you called it. I don't know. Wait. Ross was cheating on who? On Friends?
Technically, Rachel.
That was in the 90s.
Yeah. So it's been around for quite a while.
Been around,
Yeah.
but now
It is.
right. It's kind of an all-time high because now the culture's kind of changed even further. Where now cheating's looked at still wrong in people's opinion and stuff like that. But unfortunately, I think it's a part of that whole just this is it's weird. So some people look at it as like it's liberating, and this is like
It's cheating. It's okay when you're the one cheating for the protagonist, but when you're the one getting cheated on, you're the antagonist, apparently.
yeah. Where it's just it's all fun and games unless it's all fun and games until you get hurt.
It's fun and games until the rabbit's the one with the guns. All
You're
right,
not
let's go.
saying it right.
The first trope I wanted to talk about is something I'm calling destiny cheating. Destiny cheating is when the cheating gets framed as basically inevitable, like these two people were always going to end up with each other, and whoever got in the way of that was never a part of the plan. The most classic example of this is The Notebook. I know, everyone loves this movie. Ryan Gosling in golden hour lighting, building her dream house entirely out of love. It's a lot, and I fell for it too. But I need you to actually sit with what happens in this movie, because I feel like so many of us have been blinded by the love that we missed how genuinely unhinged it is. So our story starts with Noah meeting Allie for the first time at a fair. Well, meets is a generous term. He basically notices her in this huge crowd and immediately decides that she's the love of his life. Which, a bit extreme, but whatever. Unfortunately for Noah, she's there with another guy. Now, most normal people would immediately clock that and take it as a sign to just move on. But Noah is operating under a different philosophy, something along the lines of just because there's a goalkeeper doesn't mean I can't score. He asks her to dance, she says no. He asks her again, she says no, and again and again and again and again. But instead of giving up, he watches her get on the Ferris wheel with her date, decides to climb and dangle on the outside of it, yelling that he will let go if she doesn't agree to go out with him. And the movie plays this off as if it's the most romantic moment of the century. I'm sorry, but if a man scaled a Ferris wheel because I rejected him, I wouldn't be thinking, oh wow, this is fate. I'd be thinking, where are the police? And can we just acknowledge that this only works because he's Ryan Gosling? If this was literally any other man, it wouldn't be a romance movie, it would be a crime documentary. Thankfully, Noah isn't a complete psychopath, and they go on to have a really cute summer romance together, filled with boat rides, kisses in the rain, and doing the deed in a haunted house. How romantic. However, their love would soon be torn apart after Allie's wealthy parents didn't approve of her dating someone from a lower class. They have a big fight, Noah drives off, and they don't speak to each other for 7 years. 7 years! In that time, Allie moves on, falls in love with a man named Lon, and they end up getting engaged. What's interesting is that most movies would frame Lon as this nasty partner so that we wouldn't feel as bad for him when he eventually gets betrayed, but The Notebook doesn't do that. Lon is kind, patient, emotionally mature, and you can genuinely tell that he loves her. His only flaw is that he's not Noah. That is it. Her relationship with Noah, on the other hand, was immature and chaotic. They were constantly fighting, hating each other one day and then making out the next, pure emotional whiplash. The movie looks at these two options, the stable, adult-loving relationship versus the absolute roller coaster, and goes, yeah, the chaotic one is the true love. Which is quite a problematic message when you think about it. Anyway, then one day, right before their wedding, Allie sees a photo of Noah in the newspaper, standing in front of the house they used to talk about as teenagers. She then immediately decides that she needs to go and check on him, just to see if he's okay. She tells Lon that she's gonna take a little trip back to her hometown, but doesn't tell him why or where exactly she's going, and Lon, being the good man he is, just completely trusts her. Poor, clueless Lon. She shows up at Noah's house, gets welcomed with open arms, and they spend the week together. And by together, I mean together, while she's engaged days before her wedding. And from this cheating, she then comes to the realization that Noah is the man she wants to marry and not Lon. Really? It had to take you sleeping with him to realize that? Thankfully, this movie does do something right, and it makes her go back to Lon and tell him the complete truth. Which, in a normal world, this would be where everything implodes. Because any normal person would go absolutely ballistic if they found out that their fiancé just spent the week before their wedding sleeping with their ex. So sitting there, you're bracing for Lon's anger, but it never comes. Instead, we get this.
It's normal not to forget your first love. I love you, Allie. I don't want to have to convince my fiancée that she should be with me.
I'm sorry, what? This man just learned that her little trip down memory lane came with a bed and breakfast at her ex's house, and his response is basically just, I want you to be happy. Like, what? He reacts like he's losing a parking space, not a wife. And that is just so convenient for this movie, and actually the main point of this video. Because if he was furious, we'd be forced to sit with the fact that she cheated. We'd have to see the damage it caused. But since he's gentle and kind instead, the betrayal gets reframed as bravery. She's not leaving a man she hurt, she's choosing her soulmate. The film basically pats you on the head and says, relax, it's fine, now look at Ryan Gosling in the rain. Now I know what some of you super fans are probably thinking, what about the letters? Basically, if you haven't seen the movie, Noah wrote to Ali every single day for a whole year, but she didn't respond, so he gave up thinking that she moved on. In reality, her mum hid the letters from her because she didn't want them to be together. And yes, that is genuinely sad, and yes, I do think it matters to the story. But she finds out about these letters after she sleeps with him. The letters aren't even the reason she cheats. They're just the thing the film hands you afterwards so that you feel better about what happened. I just think the wildest part of this movie is that no one ever treats what Ali did like it's bad. There is one time where her mum attempts to call out her behavior, but it gets immediately flipped around.
You came down here. You knew what you were doing. You knew this would happen.
Oh, so now I'm a tramp. You're unbelievable.
Yeah, because apparently someone pointing out the harsh truth is worse than sleeping with your ex whilst you're engaged. The audacity is genuinely impressive. I almost respect it. So that is Destiny cheating. It hands you a justification, the letters, the history, the first love, and it uses it to make the cheating feel not just acceptable, but inevitable. Like the universe demanded it. And once you notice it, you see it in absolutely everything.
Alright, reactions.
The Ali, I believe was her name. The main girl from The Notebook.
I thought it was Kate.
Katie, Ali, whatever.
Clearly we
They
were paying
showed
attention.
this movie to
Jesus,
us.
you seen the movie?
They showed this movie to us in 7th grade, bruh. I don't know
Why?
You liar. You told us in 2021 you were going to watch it for Valentine's.
I watched it twice, but I forgot about it.
What were you doing?
Literally nothing. We wanted to see some bad fucking romance movies, and my friend said The Notebook. All the girls in the fucking Discord server went crazy. Some of them got mad, and we watched it anyways. And we were like, "Why do they like this movie?
Why are you in there?
What do you mean?"
Should have wrote that down on your letters.
And then,
All right, Ian. What do you think?
Wait, but Jesus, did you give your reaction though?
Oh yeah.
literally, I just said that, hey, that's messed up. Like the movie's messed up, but people think that it's a romance movie only because of the letters. It's only because of the letters. Everyone who talks about that movie always references the letters. They're like, "Oh, I wish I had someone who
wrote me for a whole year."
Yeah,
So they
did that shit because they see that shit. As
Bro, that's
romantic.
desperate.
that's
desperation.
And that's it. They don't really talk about the relationship that she was in. They just talk about the letters and how sweet they were.
If like, let's say like one of you guys was dating somebody, and I don't know, you guys moved away, and then you were writing each other letters, and then eventually stopped. I think it's different than, oh, you went with someone else.
The difference is because that's mutual, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
mutual, but the thing was with him, he was the only one doing it.
right. They never had a connection from that Ferris wheel incident.
You know, the weird toxic, I don't know, this weird, I like this type of toxic relationship stuff. It kind of reminds me of the whole, I know I'm going to get crucified for this, but fuck it. The fandom for the Twilight movies.
Oh yeah, there's is so toxic, and then there's also a huge ass age gap there too.
With Bella and the wolf guy and the vampire guy. And
God damn.
But once again, it ties back into what she said about the whole destiny thing, where as you progress through that movie, or the book, depending on what type you are, then you'd be like, this was meant to be. But it's like, and I'm with you. I hate that statement, because a lot of them, like, I even feel a kind of way about, like, and there's no shade to her, but even that song Selena Gomez came up with, The Heart Wants What It Wants, is basically a song that hits that too, where it's like, so you're suggesting, even though you're with somebody, because they're not that person that you quote unquote want, or something like, or maybe that person you want is already taken, you're basically saying that you got to go for that anyway. It's a waste of time, and you're just causing damage for no reason. Because they ain't even talking about, like, now I didn't agree with the fact that the dude that got cheated on is just basically like, that what I just said, the heart wants what it wants. It's like, that's not an excuse.
You know what though? I saw that scene because I had the unprivilege of seeing it twice. Fuck.
Okay.
Right?
I think
Clearly,
after,
no one wrote you letters.
after really like
Maybe not
thinking
romantic
about it, I
ones.
was like, you know what?
You know
To
what?
most people, I can get why he came off as like, oh my god, why is she
Little
such
bitch.
a fucking bitch? But at the same time, it's like, she did what she did. She knew what she did, and she continued doing what she did. So in his mind, it's like, I'm just gonna let you go. Like, fuck it.
Yeah,
Like,
but
why?
I think for like viewers like us, and now I never watched it. I've been forced to try to watch it, and I always make an excuse.
Nope.
But I think just watching it, for me, it's kind of like, and I think she touches it, I think with The Office. We might not react to the entirety of the video. Go check out the entirety of her video. But it's kind of like the writers will force the story where like the character getting cheated on is okay, so
that's-
that way you don't feel bad.
That's the whole point. That's why it's called destiny cheating. It is meant to happen regardless.
But it's just stupid because it's
Yeah.
like so.
But
then
it is stupid.
We're
It is
we're
stupid,
take
though.
so it's like we got these two characters. They either A, don't like each other, or B, one does, the other one doesn't, or C, both of them are already taken, but they have this weird unspoken attraction to each other. So then we're going to go take the long way around the mountain, essentially to get these two at the end together, and they expect us to just clap and be like, oh yeah, finally, it's about time. But it's like,
I mean,
the damage
It came out in 2004, and I remember when it came out, it got #1 in the box office, like
course it
really
did.
fast.
I believe, I think because they was looking at it from, like you said, the angle of the letters.
That was the chick movie for like a long time.
No, because it was a lot of women that were trying to do that. Just whole, if only insert my man, insert there, insert that. But it's like they only, again, like you said, from the angle of the letters. But it's like, what about what she was doing?
No one cares.
To an instant, exactly.
No one cares.
And
Like literally.
So do you guys agree though? Like if it would have been that she was the one getting cheated on, people wouldn't feel the same type of way?
Would there be a double standard?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I think since she's the protagonist,
Even take it even in the end when, let's say, he told her what he was doing and she did the exact same thing to him, they would say
she's a
Slap him.
She's a pick me.
They would say, I could hear people be like, oh yeah, no, go ahead, yeah, you let him go, you don't need him, you know.
You don't need no man.
Yeah, instead of like calling her like a bitch or something, you know.
So do you guys feel like it's a chick thing? Do you guys feel like it's a, I don't know, is it this specific niche of a genre? Like what do you guys think?
I think it's just a weird writing. Like honestly, it's just.
But you have your fandom, so it's like.
Well, this is
But that's the
nothing.
thing. You always have people who are attracted to toxic shit like that. Think about the people who are attracted to like serial killers, right? Because you have people who. Oh my god. You have people.
What?
My girlfriend's a serial killer. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. FBI, I'm kidding.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Gotta get the door knocked out.
So it's like there's a fandom for all this toxic shit.
No, that's true. Because I mean, I've seen that, like, the rise of social media, where it's just those that some of them do just be performing for the sake of getting viewership and stuff. But I do know others that is their real relationship, but because it's on display and people just think everything's content these days. So it's like it sells, it works, but it's just. I mean, this goes back to like that definition of romance, though, has always been a little sketchy. I take it all the way back to, Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. I get the two families were, against each other, and that the two young ones in the family, they loved each other. They thought they can unionize the family through that, and it didn't work. But then to the point where, what was it? They killed each other, whereas like we couldn't be with each other in this life. So we're going to try to be with each other in the afterlife. It's like,
I think it's a dangerous message. Like you're especially for younger people when you're watching a lot of these like stories, movies, whatever. Because I think the concept of like you're willing to quote unquote die, give up your life for somebody. That's toxic. If you're willing to put your life at risk, for the person, that's one thing. But it shouldn't get to that point. And I do think that we as a society need to, because we can blame Hollywood all we want, but if there's
where
the
they get it
demand,
from?
You
Right.
know, like even like with us, we've talked about this growing up with the music that we grew up with. That like whether it was street violence, whether it was falling in love with strippers, and like all of this, or like even like a, I love it, but I'm Sprung, the song by
You
T-Pain.
always go in on that one.
Or
I knew you was
he's
gonna do that.
crying about his side chick not making him his main.
And keep in mind, at the end of the video, he was on the roof
So it's
in prison clothes.
it's like since we were young, a lot of this stuff was seen as okay, and unfortunately, a lot of it hasn't changed. It's just evolved. Where a lot of toxic behaviors is, we talked about this a while back. Jesus, the what is it called in Japan when the stalker chick it's like considered hot or whatever? What's that? You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name.
But basically, like, a cute girl, if she's psychotic and willing to kill you.
Oh,
like,
yandere.
Yeah,
It's a yandere. It's a
yeah,
children
yeah,
anime.
that thing. Like, it's considered cute. And
It's the same thing as I said earlier with the serial killers. People just love
stop
toxic.
looking at me, guys.
No, it's just, and then see, I totally get that because, like, on a small level, like, I know that one conversation sometimes is you got those partners that's like, if we gonna be together forever, then you gotta tattoo your name, but my name on your body or whatever, stuff like that. And it's just, there's some people who would compromise for that, and then there's others like, absolutely not, because, like, what if we're not together? It, like, things do happen, but then you're basically branding me,
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I've always said, at least wait till if you're married or we've been with each other for like 20 years or something. Because I do agree, like, a lot of situations you get a tattoo and you break up and then you have to either cover it up or then your ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend is like, hey, who the hell is that? So, but it does make a awkward situation.
Now that we got the big stuff out of the way, I wanted to quick fire through some of these other cheating tropes because they are actually insane. Starting off with the 2024 movie Baby Girl, which is an absolute masterclass at empowerment cheating. We follow our main character Romy, who is a girl boss CEO because, of course she is. She has a beautiful home, 2 daughters, and a husband named Jacob, who she's been with for years. Basically, the entire plot of this movie is that she's unfulfilled in certain areas of her marriage. Wink, wink. But instead of simply communicating that with her husband, she has an affair with her much younger intern. Someone get HR on the phone immediately. The movie frames this as her sexual awakening and her just needing to find herself. And I'm not joking when I say this is literally the entire storyline of the movie, them exploring this kinky relationship. Can someone please tell me when finding yourself meant ending up in another man's bed? Not just another man, her intern. Oh, and you will not believe how this movie ends. Eventually, her husband Jacob finds out and, of course, is devastated. There's actually one genuinely powerful moment where he says that the life they built together just became the stakes that made their affair more exciting, which is such a painful and accurate observation. From there, they have an open and honest conversation about her desires in the bedroom, and then that's it. They make up, they live happily ever after. And this is where I lose my mind. Because if the solution this whole time was having a conversation with her husband, then what was the point of the affair? This movie is the definition example of this could have been an email. Now moving on, we have another trope called cheating but make it festive. Unfortunately, yes, I am talking about one of the best Christmas movies of all time, Love Actually. Even though it is my favorite, there is no denying that there are quite a few questionable moments. One of them being the storyline revolving around Juliet, who just married her boyfriend Peter. At their wedding, we meet Peter's best friend Mark, who has the job of filming their wedding video. It's clear from the jump that Juliet and Mark don't really get along that well. Juliet says that when they first met, he was strangely cold towards her, which she just assumed meant that he didn't like her. It's awkward, but whatever, not everyone gets along with their husband's best friend. Anyway, so Juliet goes to Mark's flat to pick up the wedding video that he filmed, but for some reason, he's weirdly hesitant about showing her. When she finally presses play, she gets the shock of her life. The tape isn't of the wedding, it's of her. Close-ups of her face, walking down the aisle, smiling, standing at the altar, frame after frame of just her. Which is literally insane, not just because this is his best friend's wife, but It's giving major stalker vibes. Fast forward to Christmas Eve, where we get this very famous scene. Mark standing outside Juliet's house with giant cue cards confessing his love for her, all the while Peter is literally inside the house. Just outstanding behavior from a best friend. At first you think, okay, creepy, but I guess he needed to get off his chest and be done with it. No harm done. But no, it gets worse. Juliet runs after him in the street and kisses him. I'm sorry, what is going on? And then she goes back inside the house like nothing happened. Can you imagine if Peter looked out his window at that very moment, just got up to grab a drink and bam, saw that all unfold on the pavement? It is just insane, and I have never understood why that storyline is in that movie because it's not romantic at all. But that brings me to possibly the most common cheating trope in all of romance cinema, the girlfriend that doesn't count. You know exactly what I'm talking about. When the main love interest has a girlfriend but the movie clearly doesn't care.
Hey, babe, just some dude, I don't know.
Just some dude.
Now who's being nosy?
People We Meet on Vacation is the perfect example of this. Poppy and Alex are best friends who have taken a trip together every single summer for the past decade. They are clearly in love with each other, but neither of them will admit it. And hovering in the background this entire time is Sarah, Alex's girlfriend. Yes, he literally has a girlfriend. And the crazy part is, she's actually really nice. Her only flaw is that she's suspicious of Alex and Poppy's friendship throughout the movie, which fair, that is completely understandable. Her boyfriend is literally going on annual holidays with a woman he is clearly in love with. In the later years, Poppy herself ends up getting into a relationship and the four of them end up going on this couple's holiday. As you can probably guess, this gets pretty awkward. During the trip, Poppy randomly has a pregnancy scare and goes to Alex for comfort instead of her boyfriend. And you will never guess how this scene ends, by the way. Actually, you probably will, based on how this video is going. Yeah, they nearly kiss, because of course they do. So then after this super intimate moment, what do you think Alex does the next morning? Break up with his girlfriend? No, he proposes to her. What is going on? Sarah of course says yes, completely unaware that her fiance almost kissed another woman a few hours ago. It is just one of the most all over the place plots I have ever seen. Eventually Alex breaks up with Sarah, finally admitting that he does have feelings for Poppy, which I mean, about bloody time. And then guess what? Just like The Notebook, Sarah takes this breakup and admittal of emotional cheating really well. I mean, it's not like she just wasted 10 years of her life. And I cannot stress how common this trope is nowadays, and we're supposed to root for the man? Absolutely not. But now I want to flip this entirely, because we've talked about cheating when the audience is supposed to root for it, but what happens when the male love interest cheats on the female love interest? Spoiler alert, it's completely different. Let's look at the rom-com He's Just Not That Into You, which follows a married couple, Ben and Janine. From the very start, you get the idea that they're a perfectly normal couple. Not toxic, not miserable, just normal. But then Ben decides to blow it all up by cheating on her with a yoga instructor. But the difference with this movie is that it doesn't try to make the cheating romantic, not even for a single second. There's no framing that suggests he was just following his heart or that it was inevitable. He's just a man who got bored and made a really bad decision. And when Janine finds out, it is ugly, and the film makes you sit in every uncomfortable second of it. You watch her fall apart, you feel the embarrassment of it. The movie treats cheating like the painful thing it actually is. And in the end, they don't just have an honest conversation which somehow makes everything magically okay, she divorces him. Now compare that to literally every other story we've talked about. Ali cheats on Lon, but it's framed as if he's happy for her. Alex emotionally cheats his entire relationship for the past decade, and Sarah doesn't really care. The exact same act is either epic romance or unforgivable betrayal, depending on who it benefits. So Hollywood absolutely knows how to portray cheating as the disgusting, gross thing it is, but for some reason it rarely does. So the question is, why is it so common for movies to romanticize cheating? And the honest answer to this is pretty simple. Cheating makes for a good story. It creates tension without writers having to do the harder work of building a relationship that's genuinely compelling on its own. Cheating also lets stories sell the fantasy of being chosen. That's the real drug underneath almost all of these plots. The idea that someone would risk everything for you, their relationship, their reputation, their entire life just for you. And when you frame it like that, it makes sense why this trope shows up constantly in movies aimed towards women. Not because cheating itself is the fantasy, but because being wanted that badly is. But there is actually a much deeper issue here, one that most people might not actually realize. It's called cultivation theory, and it suggests that the more you're exposed to the same type of storytelling, the more it shapes what feels normal to you. So when you grow up watching film after film where true love is treated as a free pass to cheat on your perfectly fine partner, you absorb
Remember when I
that.
told you about those letters? It was literally.
Oh, I thought you meant like
it was,
actual
no,
letters.
the Notebook. Remember, all of that goes back to those letters, and I didn't get to explain this, but just it's as she said, feeling wanted is the reason why people remember that movie so fondly. Feeling wanted.
Marina.
That's it.
No, her name is Marina, not Ashley.
Okay, thank you, thank you, because
We're reacting to her video.
Be
nice. I think it is true what Ashley was saying though, that if you're being exposed to this type of content or movies, TV shows, whatever, growing up, like we were saying earlier, with like music or books or whatever, and regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, now I get the whole fantasy aspect of it or being chosen, but it is kind of up that you're promoting, hurting, and playing. And this is coming from somebody that did this for like the majority of his life. But you don't understand the pain that you put other people through, even sometimes, because I got cheated on, and that was still not enough to get me to stop. And you don't understand how much you really scar people until you I don't know, you finally get to that point where you finally see it. Especially those who invest so much time and they give you that trust. So to kind of promote that, to like minimize one person's feelings over the other person, oh well, you know, it's exciting and I'm living vicariously. We need a reality check. I don't know, we need to check our morals as a society if we're continuing. And again, it goes for both women and men, because it's not right. And I'm glad that she called it out, I think, towards the end, of like that double standard. When it's the woman, it a lot of the time seems to be okay if she's the one doing the cheating. But if it's the woman getting cheated on, it's a problem. It's bad regardless, you know, who's getting cheated on. Yeah.
No, it's true, because even on the internet, it's unfortunately is that stigma where like if the woman walks away from a relationship, that's good, she's being strong. If it's because like she got cheated, like if she cheated on the guy, the answer is he must have done something to make her have to do that. But then if he cheats on her, absolute worst.
Men are dogs. All the men are the same.
Yeah. So
men ain't shit.
And everything else. And so it is a stigma, because I'm gonna keep the names out of the situation, but I personally remember that we had there was a friend of ours who she experienced getting cheated on by, ironically, another friend of ours. And she was lamenting about how that made her feel. And like, we had to get on both, their cases about it. Fast forward to a little bit later where she was the person that was in the cheating game. She was the one being, cheated with, and she was totally fine. And she was just having the time of her life. And then we were right there. Like, was this fun when it was happening to you? And she tried to pull it. She tried to make excuses like, oh, well, it's totally different. And it didn't land.
I also want to add, mind you, for the story, the person that they were cheating on had nothing to do with, like, she wasn't the one that he had cheated on our friend in the first place. So it was a complete innocent person that had nothing to do with, their past, between them two, their past cheating.
It was just that person in particular, I'm just going to call it, it was a nasty soul tie at work, and he did not make a choice, and he wasn't willing to. Instead, he just want to go back to that situation. And the thing was, she was okay with it because, well, she's not on the receiving end of it. She's the one that, is being picked as the other option.
The chosen that Marina was talking about.
And it's like, and again, like I was upset. Whatever, we was just, I was pissed because on the personal end, I had deep connections to the two of them, and I'm just like, what does she have to do with this? Like, if you guys want to just play out this whole love-hate thing, that's fine. Y'all can do that by yourselves. But what you don't do is drag innocent people in, because that was not fair. That wasn't fair.
Something that I want to add before we wrap up, and I'm not saying every cheating situation is the same, but one thing with my experience that I took away when I, like reflecting on stuff, it's because you're half-ass in the relationship. Why it's like you don't really feel the remorse or the guilt for cheating on the other person because you're already halfway in. You get me? So if you're fully committed into a relationship, there's going to be more of that emotional connection than when you know that you're not fully committed because you got somebody on the side or whatever it is, and you protect your. It's a selfish way of thinking, because if you have somebody on the side, you're like, oh well, even if the person finds out that I'm cheating on them,
You
I
got a
my back.
lifeboat. You got a lifeboat.
So unfortunately, guys, cheating is bad.
Period.
Promoting is bad, and we as a society, whether you're a progressive woman or a dude that calls it out, that this is just not okay. Whether you're a man or women, straight, gay, relationships, cheating is bad. At least for the three of us, we will never condone it on this channel. Like I said, I have gone through it. We all have been cheated on. I have cheated myself on others. So we've seen the damage. We've seen we've seen it with other people, like the example that you were sharing of our former friends. Like, we've seen different sides of it, and it never ends in a good way. So
No.
cheating is bad, okay? So don't do it. Check out the entirety of the video. Check out the channel Marino McBain. And if you haven't already, guys, make sure to like, share, and comment, and subscribe to our channel. I'm Richie, here with Ian and Jesus.
Don't cheat us out of those likes, guys.
And write in the comment section, not the notebook, what you want us to do and react to next time. Stay safe. Be a good person, all right? And heal.
Not perfect, but just be good.
We don't, other people's feelings shouldn't be a game, or, like, oh, well, it's just cheating and they're not going to find out. We got to be more, as a society, we got to learn how to be better to each other, all right? So stay safe, stay blessed, and we love you guys. We'll see you guys next time.